What's up, guys? My name is Ben. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 18 of Mix of Six Live. We're going to do things a little bit different tonight. I'm going to run over a few things, and then I am going to play some of the latest release that we recorded with Scabs, the Southern County Amateur Brewing Society. To get things started here, I'm just going to ask everybody to go ahead and please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're approaching 150 subscribers. We appreciate all the love, all the support that comes in on the social medias. Please continue to do so, whether that's liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing to the YouTube. We appreciate all of it. And back to the top, I'm going to talk a little bit and throw on a video. However, lots of sports stuff going on, and I can talk sports all day, whether it's World Baseball Classic, March Madness, NBA playoffs are coming up, NFL free agency just kicked off. So whatever you got in mind, drop it in the comments, and we can chat about it all night. Upcoming releases, like I said, we had Southern County Amateur Brewing Society, that latest release. We got a new one out every other Saturday, wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. I'm live here every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. ish. If you want to be a guest on either of the platforms, check out the link tree in our social media bios, and there you'll find guest forms for those platforms. We got a whole bunch of stuff coming up for you. We're booked well out through the summer for releases. I believe Boneshire Brewworks is the next one, and hell, I've rattled off these a ton. So again, you know where to find us for booking if you're interested. We'd love to have you. Love to hear your story. We do have an event coming up this weekend. We are going to be at Big Bottom Brewery in Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. Bob was gracious enough to join us on the show last week, and he was gracious enough to give us a call and invite us up to record some content. So I'm thinking 4 to 6 p.m. we're going to be out and about. Hopefully going to have a couple mics set up just to interview some crowd and make some live content as well. So look out for that on the social media. Bob is having a tap takeover. Him and his wife drove around Pennsylvania, and they just picked up some taps from across the state. So they're trying to show some love where possible. So check them out. I believe it's either starting Thursday or Friday. They're going to have a hell of a crowd all weekend, live music show on Friday night. So do your best to get out there and support them and the awesome event that they are putting on. Also, I wanted to mention that we are aiming to be at Gift Horse on April 8th. That is for the oh Jesus, I'm gonna man and Carmen are gonna shoot me. Can't remember the name of the Ales for Tales. Goodness, thank you. So that event is going on later in August. However, they're having a takeover event at Gift Horse on April 8th. They're going to be raising money for their event later in the summer. So Carmen, Amanda, and all the folks at Ales for Tales are going to be at Gift Horse on the 8th. So look for us out there as well. So like I mentioned, I'm going to roll a few minutes for the latest release. Brett, Dave, and Dad sat down with some great home brewers from Scabs, and I'm going to roll that here for you guys.
Mr. Kevin is back in studio with us.
So, how's everybody doing?
Where were you at? Where were you just at?
Columbus, Ohio for the week.
All right.
Had a large show we attended.
Yeah, you're home for a while now?
2 weeks, I hope.
2 weeks.
And then Texas.
Right. So this is going to be our St. Patrick's Day episode. So we're going to hopefully get into a couple Irish things and maybe Aaron go bra and all that kind of stuff, but we'll see what happens. Mr. Dave.
Yo.
Speaking of Irish, we have an Irish red we put on the kegerator.
Yeah, we did.
Can't wait to tap into that one. So where can they find the Central PA Pour?
On all of the channels, YouTube, Facebook, all of them.
Yeah, look us up at Central PA Pour. You forgot that part.
Well, if they don't know that by now, I mean, come on.
centralpapour@gmail.com. You can get a hold of us, and make sure you check out Ben with our Wednesday night lives, the Mix of Six, every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And make sure you give us a subscribe on the YouTube and give us a like and share on all our social media platforms. But we have some special guests in here, and we're going to let them introduce themselves. So welcome, gentlemen, to the Central PA Pour. How are we all doing?
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You're welcome. So let's find out who we are sitting with and what you represent. So I don't know. We'll start off here to my left here, Mr. Jim.
Yeah. I mean, we're all members of the Southern County Amateur Brewers Society Homebrew Club here in Southern York County, Pennsylvania. I'm the current acting president. My name is Jim Herberson. I've been brewing since 1995. So I got a few years under my belt there, but I joined up with this club. We moved up, my wife and I moved up in 2014 and met SJ at his homebrew store, and that's where they were starting the club up. So I'm one of the founding members and the current acting president.
Well, you know that's going to be forever, right?
we force a few into the role here. we like to keep the blood.
The strong arm.
There we go. So keep going around the table there.
So my name's Adam Fulmer. I'm the current vice president. I started home brewing probably like 2003. But I didn't have a kit, really just kind of hung around guys, homebrewed like that. And then back in 2020, I actually bought my own kit, started homebrewing. And it wasn't very long after that I found the guys on Facebook and started connecting, and the rest is history.
It's been downhill ever since.
Right. All right, keep going.
Okay, Chuck Jennings. I'm the acting secretary treasurer right now. I've been home brewing since 2016. Always wanted to do it, and Steve had the store 5 minutes from my house, so what a better way to start. So,
There we go. There we go.
it's all downhill from there.
All right, and final.
And finally, I'm Steve Poor. Some folks know me on YouTube at SJ Poor. A lot of folks you'll call me SJ. That's usually the way it works. Depends on how long you've known me as to what you call me, through the years. But yeah, I'm one of the founding fathers of Scabs. I used to have a homebrew supply store called the Grain Bills, located in Cape Horn. Unfortunately, the times didn't allow us to keep it going. But we branched off of YAHA, which is York Area Homebrew Society, is what York Area. Yeah, YAHA. Figure out the acronym or whatever. They used to meet at our store, but they're more York located, and these guys were all more Southern York County. So once YAHA kind of left the store, these guys came up and were like, "Hey, let's start up a new club." So we started up Scabs. It was based out of the store. Store closed now, I want to say about 5 years now, I would imagine. And we've kept the club going strong. We are a sanctioned club, so we're recognized through the AHA, which is cool. We do a lot of events locally and all that jazz. I am not a officer
Anymore, right?
anymore.
You filled all them roles though, didn't you?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, from the beginning on. I've not been a vice president. Don't get any ideas, guys.
Well, gentlemen, welcome to our little recording studio in the Central PA Pour. I think we met you guys down at Brew Kids on the Block.
Yeah,
so a couple of you, I think, was it Adam? You sat in, and who else? Somebody else sat in. Jim sat in a little bit during our attempt to do a live stream. It worked out somewhat. We won't go there again. Yeah. But it was fun. That was the first time we've ever been to an event like that, and we had a blast. And it was, we're meeting you guys and some other people down there. We had a good time. So Scabs, so it is a homebrew society. And how did you guys figure out to come up with Scabs? Because you tell somebody Scabs, they're going to look at you a couple different ways.
Yeah, we get that. What was funny is we were at NHC in Pittsburgh. Great place to have a booth with the name Scabs. So they kept coming up and making comments about it. It's kind of it encompasses Southern York County. Yeah. And that's where the base is. And the acronym just kind of
Well, it is what it is. And it's like you just said, it'll bring up a conversation piece in a hurry.
It does.
It's love it or hate it.
Yeah, right.
So for what I'm getting out of you guys have been doing this quite a long time as home brewers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What was behind the idea of home brewing?
Oh, Jim, since you're the longest there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was 19 or 20 when I started, and at the time I could buy the ingredients, and I didn't have to be 21, so I could.
That's the first time I heard that one.
I just saw it. Yeah, absolutely.
But a friend of mine was doing it, and he was sharing his stuff with me, and I'm like, this seems like fun, and he's like, took me to Maryland Homebrew was and kind of still is my store, but I've watched those guys grow up too. They've gotten bigger. But that was where it all kind of started for me. A friend was into it, and I got into it, and he's we both kind of like take some time off and we'll come back to it, and but it's always been a fun, creative outlet, something to do. And we like to come out and promote the club and the hobby of home brewing, to show people that it's possible to it doesn't have to taste like it was made in a bathtub or something. It's like you can make beer that's just as good as the commercial stuff.
For me,
yeah.
Typically better.
I'm gonna say, isn't that what they used to do back in Prohibition? They used to make stuff in the bathtub.
That's the myth. Yeah, that's your urban legend is what they. Yeah.
I'd say a lot for me was the unfortunate part in Mississippi. You couldn't get good beer. Yingling was considered like a craft beer, and it wasn't local. So like my first beers that I was introduced to was like Chime and Buffalo
Good beers
Sweat.
to be introduced to. Yeah.
Right, but a lot of the guys that I brewed with, those beers they weren't able to be found. So they started brewing those beers because it was a lot cheaper to get the ingredients than it was to spend $200 on a case, because to truck it into Mississippi, apparently they were a geographical oddity.
Wow. And about you, Chuck?
Well, just I worked with a guy that home brewed, and he gave me some of his beer, and I was always interested in it. It was always something that kind of fascinated me because I like beer. So, but SJ had the store, like I say, 5 minutes from my house, and he had to learn to brew day. Stopped in, asked a ton of questions, but rest is history. So yeah, it's a fun hobby. It is. It's a great hobby to get into.
It is fun. So
Chuck was a lot of fun when we had the store, and he would come in like 2 or 3 times a week, every week. We did the learn to homebrew day at the store, and he came in, and I swear he came in every day to look at the fermenter. How's it? What's it doing? I was so glad when you finally had that first batch in. It was awesome. It was very cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of equipment is everybody brewing on? I mean, like I said, I think before we sat down here, we did kits up until this last one. Kettle and the extract ingredients and some water, and you're good to go. But I think you guys are probably upgraded since that. You guys,
So
Couple
COVID,
times.
COVID. I built a brewery in the back of the house.
I did see that video.
So I almost died in that one too. I think it was part 2 is when I tried to drop a beam on my head. But so I have a 3-vessel Herms electric system that controller is done by Warthog. It's a Warthog 330. Works nice. I still kept my original, the Cube, man, the gravity system that's up in the garage. It's money. You have that original system that you brewed on, like, you said you just did your first all grain.
Yep.
Right. So you'll probably never get rid of that system. You'll just hang on to it.
Yeah, because I don't plan on doing more than a 5-gallon batch. So.
So I've got the 3-vessel Herms. I can do 15-gallon batch or 10-gallon batches, really. And if I want to do something smaller, I go up in the garage and get that. Everybody has different systems, which is cool.
Yeah, I started out just with the basic kit, the kettle and fermenter, and I bought a burner, and trying to brew outside in the wintertime is no fun. So I bought a grain father, all electric system. Do it in the basement.
That's similar to the Brewzilla, correct?
Similar to the Brewzilla, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty similar. But yeah, love it. Brewed yesterday. So yeah.
Oh,
Don't have
that's
to be out in the cold. That's
What
great.
would you brew yesterday?
I brewed a cream ale that I'm going to put vanilla in it. So,
That seems to be the new thing right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking cream ale.
Cream ale
they're
is
just
it's
good.
something coming back. I mean,
Yeah.
that's one of the styles I think is coming back. I think ales are making a comeback.
Yeah.
All around. I think all the ales are starting to come back. So.
You're getting to more traditional beers.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the crazy thing. Now let's step back and get a little more traditional.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they were talking in Cincinnati. Absolutely. Yeah.
So, this is just, you guys have been doing this for quite some time. Jim, long time. Any ideas of going to the next level, or is this just a hobby that you love?
I go back and forth on that because it's always one of those sort of like fantasy things that just like to take it and go pro and have your own thing and be able to control it all. But I also like worry about losing the fun of the hobby at the same time, where like it just becomes work.
Yeah.
So and the other thing is I don't think it pays that well generally. So it's like if I was to switch from what I'm doing now to go be a pro brewer, I'd probably have to take a pay cut to do it. But it does seem like a really fun thing to do, and it's always been kind of a fantasy of mine. So I always I still think about it, so it never really leaves my mind of the thought of going pro and doing it for real.
No, it would be a big step. It would be
For sure.
It's a huge gamble.
Mm-hmm.
These two guys here have actually, Adam's been helping out, and Chuck has actually helped out over at Scrubbies. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're getting a taste of it.
Yeah.
So you're helping Emery out?
helping Emery out when I can. Yeah, I work in a tap room right now mostly. We were supposed to brew a beer together. He had Falcon's Prey on tap.
Yeah, that's pretty good
And,
beer there.
Yeah, so he had COVID, so we had to cancel, and then I got the flu, and we had to cancel, but he had to go. He had everything ready, and I said, just do it. So we'll brew something someday. I've been over a couple of times, so yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's putting out some good stuff, and I think when we had him on the episode, where he opened his tap room was just right up his nick. That was right, so to speak, up his alley.
Yeah, it was meant to be
a good one. Yeah,
it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Hey, the best thing about Scrubbies, the beer names, like that's my absolute favorite thing about brewing beer is naming beers.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything that you can name them, the crazier, the weirder, the more outlandish, the better. And when you've got that premise of, especially like a bowling alley, and you can do the Munson and you can do certain things. The dude, like
Dude's very popular.
Oh, that's good.
So that's one of my favorite things is definitely naming them because it's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So do you guys, you each have your own little home brew. Do you have names for your home breweries or?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're Enabler Brewing. I've been Enabler Brewing kind of since the beginning. But we're we have a friend who's a graphic designer, and I asked her to make a logo for us, and she did. And so then we we have the embroidery set up, so we have shirts made and all kinds of stuff. And so we actually have a brand, and that's kind of the fun part of it is like trying to you're feeling like professionals, like you're representing. And that's when going to the festivals, like SJ mentioned, comes in and you get to actually serve your beer to the public. So it's like you're not selling it, but you're close enough.
And a lot of your competitions require brewery names.
Yeah.
So like I started Welded Brew Works. I've been welded, I welded most of my life. So it was kind of like a normal thing that I could get in a whole bunch of like, TIG rod and MIG weld. Like there's a whole bunch of names that you could go through.
I do like the logo with the welder's helmet and the hop right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
It almost looks like a Cyclops from Star Wars or something.
And it was as simple as a buddy of mine he was a mechanical engineer that does HVAC work, that I called him and was like, hey, this is what I want to do. Popped a couple things together. Can you work something up for me? He had it in CAD, sent it back, and I was like, yep, works for me. And that's the best thing about home brewing. Cheaper and how you make stuff, you're going to throw stuff together. It's not going to be like everything is store bought. So why have it when you do the rest of the stuff?
And I guess, you're looking at throwing stuff together as far as ingredients. You're not doing a 7-barrel system where it could fail. So
Right.
that'd be a huge thing.
Yep.
Chuck, would you have a name for yours?
Yeah, I'm One Black Mutt Brewing. We used to have a mixed black lab, and when my father-in-law when he was still with us, he used to just say, "You old black mutt," and it just kind of stuck. So that's where that comes from. So it kind of keeps him in mind and our long gone dog. But yeah.
That's very cool.
And like Adam said, it's neat when you go to the festivals, because when you do have a name, people do recognize that. Oh yeah, you were here before. And that sort of thing. So it works out.
And I go off of Little Face Brewing. Little Face of the logo I have here on this beer. You can kind of see that is the logo is a dog we used to have, Duke.
Okay.
And he was my brew buddy. So every batch of beer I brewed, he sat next to. He was like, did you ever see the Chevy Chase movie where he had the yellow dog and it was sitting next to the fire, and the dog he'd have to reach over the thing and pull the tail away from the fire, from catching fire? That was Duke. He would like lay under the burner and it'd be like, dude, you're gonna catch fire. So he was my buddy. And Little Face Brewing gives you, like Adam said, all kinds of crazy names you can come up with.
That's pretty cool.
So we always like to say, get your little face on.
What do we call ourselves when we brew?
Drunk.
Essex Homebrew Works.
Absolutely.
Oh, very nice.
So, because this is Essex Road.
Sure.
And kind of like the first couple brews that we're doing all green, I'm sticking to a traditional English because Essex is from England. So kind of sticking along that style. So we'll see. Never say. We keep joking about buying this building down the road here to open up Essex Brew Works, but it ain't going to happen. But speaking of beer, I think we have this is from you, Steve, Little Face.
Little Face Brewing.
Kind of just tell us what we're going to be drinking.
So this is Two Dogs Licking. You can just let your imagination go there. It was a recipe. Yeah. It was a recipe. It was actually one of the very first recipes I ever developed a long time ago, back when Mr. Steve still had his homebrew store in New York. And he got a kick out every time I'd come, I'd say, hey, I'm going to do a Two Dogs. And he would just laugh. He thought that was funny. But it's an Irish red. It is traditional. It's a very traditional malt forward Irish red. Like it came in at probably like 5.5%, something like that.
I think that's where mine is at right now, about 5.5.
Yeah.
So cheers.
Cheers.
Two Dogs Licking.
Two Dogs Licking Irish red.
I definitely get some of the malt aroma out of that.
That's really good.
Yeah. That's a me on a glass.
Hey guys, excuse me, fighting a bit of a cold or something. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate all the support again. We put out a new episode every other Saturday. So if you like what you watch there, check us out, man. YouTube, social media, wherever you get your podcasts from. We're not talking to only brewery owners. We're talking to home brewers. We're talking to entrepreneurs. We're talking to a lot of different people in this great industry. And anytime we get a chance to sit down and chat with somebody, it's the best group of people you could ever ask for in this industry. So if you like what we're doing, follow along on our journey and support us however you can. Again, keep an eye out. I believe Boneshire Brewworks is next up on the agenda as far as our releases go. We're going to be at Big Bottom Brewery in Dillsburg this Saturday. I'm thinking 4 to 6 p.m. Making some live content, maybe doing a little sit-down release as well. So come out and enjoy Big Bottom's PA Tap Takeover and hang out with us, shoot the shit a little bit, drink some good beer. So appreciate y'all tuning in tonight. Everybody take care, and hopefully we will see you on Saturday.